Alright, I started posting short form content on TikTok in like late January of this year, and I have stopped posting short form content on TikTok maybe just like a few weeks ago. So those of you who are like returning to this channel, you already know, but like I'm a musician and I'm an artist, and that's what I do. That's what I want to make a career out of, and that's what I have been making a career out of, and it's been going pretty well. But I was like, I need to grow more. I need to do more to like reach more people, share my music with more people, that kind of thing. Okay, what's the obvious answer? Post more on like social media platforms. One of those platforms was, in fact, TikTok. I basically just like batch recorded like a whole bunch of videos of me just performing music, and I just like clipped that up into little pieces, and I've been sharing that online, or have been sharing that online, just twice a week. I upped it to 3 for a little bit, but then back down to 2, and now obviously 0 is what I'm talking about right now in this video. And actually, like, part of that like thing to up my social media game is YouTube, and clearly I am still making YouTube videos, even though I'm not making TikTok videos anymore. I kind of just want to share and talk about my experiences doing short form content as opposed to long form content like I'm doing right now. I very much obviously like long form content way more than short form, but it seems like the go-to advice for, I don't know, anyone trying to make it in the music industry is post the short form clips. They're huge for your career and all that. I have like a couple counter arguments with that claim, because like, okay, you think about short form content. I want to ask then, like, what kind of audience would you be attracting if you went down that route? I'm not saying anything about like the people who consume short form content. I'm just saying, like, as an artist, are those the kinds of people you want to attract as your audience? And like, look, you can you can enjoy your short form videos, you can enjoy your whatever you want, but for me, I stay away in my own like personal what's the word? Consumption. That sounds dirty. My own personal consumption of like media and entertainment. Like, I try to stay away from short form content because I don't really like it. It makes me feel stupid. It makes me feel like the creators have to like really just throw everything in my face. It's pretty overstimulating. So right, like, is that the kind of audience, the people who respond to that, is that the kind of audience that you would want as an artist? If the answer is yes, like, okay, great, go for it, man. But if the answer is no, like, why are you trying to attract that audience then? I think that, how do I say this? Just modern capitalism, I don't know, modern economics or whatever, they say to like cast the widest net possible, but that's not how it's always been. That's really never how it's been, I feel, based on my own history, research, or whatever. It's always been, target a niche and then focus in on that niche, and that's how you build a loyal fan base, customer base, etc., whatever, rather than just like passive listeners who like might know your name but not willing to listen to the music or buy merch or whatever. Yeah, that kind of thing. And me, I don't know if I already said this, but like, I don't want that audience. I want an audience that feels like they understand my point of view and how I experience the world, not only through my music, but just through how I present myself in general. And so far on YouTube, like, that's been way better. On TikTok, I mean, I don't know. The way I would do it is like posting performance clips, and sometimes I get like encouragement and like fire emojis, and like that's fine. But on YouTube, I actually get like real comments from just like a ton of people. So there's some regular commenters that stop by, so, shout out to them. But I've gotten comments from like people that are around my age, younger and older, talking about like their experiences and previous music eras that they've existed in. And I mean, I've gotten none of that on TikTok, and I don't think I will get that on TikTok. I don't know like who said this first, or if this is a quote I'm making up in my brain, but they say that I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, and that's kind of like a metaphor. It could be a metaphor for a lot of things, but I mean, yeah, I'd rather have 4 higher quality fans than 100, lesser. That sounds mean. Just like lesser engaged fans, I suppose. Another reason I stopped like posting short form content, especially on TikTok, but I mean this carries over. I don't post shorts. I mean, I don't know. You can look through my previous shorts I've posted on this channel. It's been a couple months or I don't know how long, but on Instagram, whatever. I don't really post like that anymore because I've been thinking about the ways that I personally discover music, and I mean, I don't know. I realize as a music nerd, I'm kind of an outlier to most people, but for the way that I discover music that I really resonate with is, well, there's a number of ways. There's like word of mouth, my friend or someone just puts me on to some artist. But honestly, like the biggest way I find music is through YouTube. Not necessarily like YouTube, or like not necessarily music channels on YouTube, just like through my favorite channel, just mentioning different artists that they like. Like I don't know, there's a channel called, what is it called? Todd in the Shadows. He's been around since like YouTube's beginning, I think. But like whenever he like reviews an album or a song or whatever, sometimes I end up really liking that song or that album, and I can find a lot of music that way. It's not as like in your face, like 5 seconds of a hook or whatever. It's very much like a longer video, or like other channels, even like various other non-music related like gaming channels. They'll talk about the music that they like, and then I'll just happen to check it out if I like them talk about it enough. I'll just happen to check it out, and then okay, I really like this artist. Like, cool, that's awesome. I very rarely, I can't really think of an example where I find a band on like Instagram or TikTok. I don't even scroll TikTok, but whatever. Like if I find a band on through a short form media post, and then I'm wanting to check out their music. I can't think of an example where that's happened. And I don't really like use algorithmic playlists or whatever to find new music either because I don't have Spotify, but yeah, the main way I find music is through word of mouth or YouTube, which I guess could be considered word of mouth in a way. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to be so real with you guys. My hope is that people will listen to what I'm saying and hopefully resonate with it, and they'll keep returning, and eventually they'll be like, hey, this guy makes music, I'm gonna go check out his music. And well, yeah, that's my hope. It's not like a in-your-face kind of thing. I guess in a way I'm kind of playing a long game where I'm hoping that you guys can, or someone out there will just resonate with what I'm saying and then check out the music after the fact. I also like the idea of the music or just art in general kind of speaking for itself. I really don't want to make videos where I break down my songs or talk about the production or like whatever. I mean, maybe I would one day, but I don't want that to be a regular thing because I think the music should speak for itself. And I don't know, you just don't really get that as much with short form content, just heavy promoting your music, like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this vocal take, or I'm mixing my song or whatever. And I mean, I don't know, I can't make anyone do anything. So like if you're an artist and short form content is working for you, great, like that's really good. That's not me, but good for you. I guess that's a good point to make though, is like you have to find what works for you, whether you're a musician or just like if you want to have like an independent business, I suppose, or just project or something you want to get out there. You need to find what works. That's the one thing. And then you also have to find what you like. I will say that like I enjoy making these videos a lot more than TikTok videos, just because I mean, I don't know, well, there's no reason why. I just like doing this better. Now, like, don't get me wrong, like sometimes it's like a whole thing to like record these videos, but overall I enjoy it way more than TikTok videos, like short form videos. So I'm gonna keep doing it. A bit earlier I said like you need to think about who your audience is and where to find them. And I mean, I don't know, that's been like a really big thing for me, like ongoing, still going. where I'm thinking like, okay, if my audience isn't on TikTok, like where is it? And just kind of like thinking about that question over and over. I've been thinking about that question since, I don't know, since I've started making like music a career in 2022 or whatever, 2021. And I will say, like, not everyone's audience is necessarily on the internet. Like if you're a performer, like session musician or whatever, your audience isn't necessarily like consumers. It's other musicians, especially if you're a session musician. So, hang out with other musicians, connect with them, make friends with them, like that kind of thing. That sounds like kind of obvious, right? But like, I feel like it's not, because I don't know. There's just so much advice out there, and a lot of it is just, okay, post on TikTok like 3 times a week. I'm talking about this like it's specific to music, but this is like a thing for life, I feel. If you want to, I don't know, have friends that go on hikes or walks or whatever, you're not going to find them in the library, right? You're not going to find those people in a coffee shop. You're going to find them just out and about, like on a trail. I mean, that's something I've discovered, at least. If I want to find friends who are into art, into, I don't know, the things I'm into, I guess, right? I'm not going to find them at like a sporting event. I'm not going to find those people like weightlifting in the gym. Well, I like weightlifting in the gym, so like that's where I go to like meet people who are like that. But I'm not expecting to find a music nerd in the gym necessarily if I go to the gym. So I don't know. Is your audience on TikTok? Great, do that. If it's not, is it on YouTube? Maybe. I don't know. This has been working out for me pretty good. We just recently hit 100 subscribers. I need to get on my 100 subs special. I know I do. I've just been very busy, as you may or may not know. I've been very busy, so I'll get to it soon. But okay, I think I'm out of juice. So peace. Bye.